Hello everyone, welcome to another video in Python Tkinter. In this video we're going to create a weather application with 5 amazing features that I hope you like. Features that we're going to discuss are image handling in Python, API integration example, Python current time, Python event binding, and Python GUI customization, which is basically Tkinter fonts and colors. Okay, as you can see, we have our application here, and I'm gonna demonstrate for you how it's gonna work. First, I'm gonna try to search like empty name. We'll get an error here, warning. I'll search for wrong name. I'll get another message box. Now I want to put the right name. Let's say New York. We get the weather information and time. Also, let's search for, let's say, London. We'll get the weather information for that as well. So we didn't define a button. We use the enter key on our keyboard to search for the cities. I'm going to show you guys how to do that with event binding. And so let's go and create our application. First, we're going to import Tkinter, and from Tkinter, we're going to import another package called messagebox. And also, we're going to have PIL and image, as well as image TK, which used to work with images in our application. Image TK. Okay, next we want to have requests, which makes HTTP requests to fetch weather data. And also we want date time. This module supplies classes for working with dates and times, as well as we need another package called time delta, which represent a duration, the difference between two dates or times. Okay, now we need to create our main window, and we need to give it a geometry, resizable, and configure its color. We will apply Python GUI customization for widgets and frame when we create them in this application. So 610, 400. And make it resizable, false, and background. It's gonna be bluish. And also we need a function to get weather API. This function will get the city name as an argument and return weather information for the city in JSON format. API key is our unique API key for the Open Weather Map API. I'm going to show you guys how to get it and where get it from. Base URL used to fetch weather data using the city name and API key. And request.get will send a GET request to the API, and return response.json will parse and return the JSON response. Okay, I'm going to show you where to get these info. You go to Open Weather Map APIs. For the base URL, you go to API doc, and you could see it right here. Yep, this is the base URL. Instead of lat and long, we use city name. So I'm gonna remove those, and yep, remove. I'm gonna say weather question mark Q, and I want to remove this for now. Okay, city. Also, we need F here. Yep. And app ID is API key. We will pass these to base URL later. And units, metric. Okay. Now I want to show you how to get the API key. You need to create it from the Open Weather Map, and when you create it, you go here, my API keys. As you can see, I have it here. I'm just gonna copy it and paste it here. It'll give you one free one of API key, so you should be good. You just need to create an account. Okay, Python event binding and entry widget. So we're gonna create a entry frame first, and we're gonna give it a color and organize it. And then we need to create an entry widget, give it a background border. So we're gonna say city entry, TK entry. I'm gonna give it a to entry frame. I want to give it a font. Let's say Helvetica and 14. Then border 0 and relief, which is the 3D effects around the outside of the widget. It blends it and give it the foreground color as well here, and also a background color. Then we need to pack the entry widget to keep it organized. So let's give it a background first. Okay. Also, I want to set the color of insertion cursor to black. And I want to add internal padding to the widget. We use that using iPad X and iPad Y. And we could do that. Okay, let's see. First, we need to give it a pack. Okay, pad X and pad Y. iPad X and iPad Y. Also want to add fill, which allow the widget to expand horizontally to fill the available space. And expand, which lets the widget expand to fill any extra space in the geometry manager's parent. We're going to use bind to bind our intro key with submitting. And we're going to give it a function here on enter. Then we need another insert to insert a text. I'm going to say enter city name. Now we need to remove the text with another bind event. When we focus in, when we click on the entry box, we want it to be removed. Okay, we want to give it another function here. Then we want to bring back the text whenever user move away from the entry box. So we need another bind event when we focus out of the entry box called onFocus out. Then config the color, foreground. Okay. I want to pack propagate, prevent the widget from resizing itself to fit its children. So this allows for manual control over the widget size. Also, we configure frame size and we define our functions here. On enter was one of them. We're gonna pass for now. We're gonna define them later. And def on entry click pass. We had a third one on focus out pass. Okay, we resize our entry frame. We look good. We can go to next step, I think. Let's run it first. And we got an error. Let's see where we made a mistake. Okay, here. Yep. We need to add these, run it. I think we're okay. Root.main loop. We forgot that too. All right. Looks good. Remove these. It works fine. Okay, image handling in Python. We want to add our logo. We create a separate frame for it while we set the same background as the entry frame. And we pack it. We load the image using open method and pass the path to our image. I have created an image folder. Okay, I'm gonna come here, copy the path. We also need to resize the image to fit our purpose, and since resizing will decrease the image quality, we need to apply a filter to keep the image quality. So logo image dot resize, and we give it the size value and image dot lancos. Yeah, this will keep the quality. Next, we need to load the image so it can be used by our Tkinter widgets. So image.tk, image tk dot photo image, and we need to insert the image to a label and give it a background color to keep everything consistent. So we create a label and give it to the logo frame image, pass our image, and we want to copy the background from here, and we pack it to keep it organized, and we're good. Let's go have a look. Yep, it's here. The size is good. All right, we're good here. Okay, now we need to display our weather information. We want another frame for information we want to display. So we create it, we give it a background, and we're just gonna copy and paste it from here. Okay, and pack, we define the side, which is specify the side of parent widget to the child widget should be packed against. And we want also a label, a variable label with the background hex number and also value background with the hex number. We're going to use it later. We're going to create also a label widget, list, and value label list. We're going to use these to create our widgets. So I don't want to do it manually one by one. I want to use a loop to do that. Also, we're going to have a list of all the names we want to have. Okay, wind speed. Also, we need units, like list of units we're going to use. I'm going to copy and paste that later because it has some degrees. Okay, next we create another frame for the label, and this time we pass the background value, background variable we had. Next we pack it. We use fill to take up all these extra spaces available. And also we need the frame for our values. This is where we insert the value frame. We're going to use it to create placeholders to insert the information later when we retrieve them from our API call. Okay, now we're going to loop to create these widgets. Label and labels. So first we're gonna append, yep, to the list. Create it and append it. We're gonna give it text label, the names we defined in the list, and font, background. We had a value, we had the variable for it. Okay, foreground. And we also need to pack it. Are we getting error here? Okay, we forgot parentheses here. All right, so let's go unpack it. So label widgets -1. So -1 acts as the last widget. So it'll help us to work with the current widget we're iterating. So left pad X and pad Y. Also expand to take up all the extra space. So we want to append it while we're creating it. This is the labels, like value label widgets, where we insert the actual information. So we leave the text empty because we're gonna insert it later. Okay, I'm gonna copy and paste font from here, change the background value here. Okay, we're good. So same process, packing it. Add extend, add Y, and expand. Okay, let's check it out. First, let's add the units. Copy and paste it here. And let's run it to see. Yep, we have it here. Now I want to display those information below those values. Okay, let's go and define our functions here. Okay, I'm gonna put this below here. Yep. So remove this. If city entry name dot get this, get the value. If it equals this, we want to remove it. So delete 0 till end. And then we want to configure foreground. Yeah, we'll configure the color. So on here we want to make sure that the value does not exist first. If it doesn't, because we focused out of the entry box, we want to insert it again. So we're going to say insert and put it back there. And yep, city name. This also, let me check, it should be same spelling because we're using a condition. Yep. And we configure the color. Just copy and paste here. Okay. On enter, we want to get the city name, and we want to pass it to another function that we're going to create in the next step. This is where we do the actual update. Okay, let's define it. So this method used for Python current time function and get data and insert it into our placeholders. First, we want to make sure that we have the city name. If we do, we want to make an API call with that city name. So we call our function again. And if the response was successful, so COD indicates the status. If it's 200, it means the API call was successful. If it was successful, then we're gonna go and create our time object. UTC underscore time will return a time object, and we want a time zone offset. Time, actually local time is the variable that holds the local time as a date time object. And we want to add UTC time and time delta together, which give us the local time in the city. Okay, current time is the variable that hold the formatted local time as like a string. Okay, hour and minute. Okay, we're good. Now we want to get all those value we fetched using API call. So I'm gonna call the variable that holds our return value from the get weather. So we have a JSON format, so the first element would be main in our list, and the second one would be the name of the variables, the way it was created in the API. So you can also find the data for this in the Open Weather Map API docs section. See, each one has a different name. I'm just gonna copy it and paste it here for fields like. Okay, for pressure. So as you can see, I created a list and adding all these values to this list. And then humidity. So need to be careful about the metrics here. I'm going to put a link for Open Weather Map documentation in the description. You can see it. All right, current time is the last value we're gonna have in the list. Okay, we want to loop now. Okay, so zip function combines value labels and weather values into pairs. So we can iterate over both of them at the same time. We do that, then we call our value label.config. So we're inserting the value here. And when I have else in case of a error, the first error would be if show error if the city was not found. And we had another if, and if we don't enter anything like a city name, we want to have a message box and show warning, enter city name. Okay, looks good. Let's try it. Okay, if I click enter, okay, we get the warning, wrong name, error, New York. Okay, we got that. Let's try London. Yep, you can see time and everything is there. Okay, great. All right, thank you for watching this video, guys. I really hope you enjoyed watching it and you learned something. If you did, please give me a like, comment, or subscribe. I would really appreciate that. Have an amazing day. Happy coding, guys.